Hi everybody, it's Lene. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. I have a little scrappy video for you today where we're going to be taking scraps of various kinds of paper from our stash and making these cute little lip balm books that I think are great for stocking stuffers, little hostess gifts, not only for Christmas but any time of the year. So this one has paper on all sides, and then we're going to open this up, and on the inside there's just a cute little easy to remove lip balm. And you could use your favorite, your friend's favorite to put in there. So easy to make, you guys. I'm making a mass make of these to give to my family and friends for the holidays. And if you stick around to the end of the video, you'll learn how one lucky viewer could choose one that I'm making, and I'll send it to them. But I also have lots of little gift bag ideas to show you, and I have a bunch of these that I'll be sending to that same lucky viewer. So stick around to the end of the video for details on our giveaway. And we do this every week at Lene Creates, where I make something, I show you in a tutorial, and then we give it away. So let's get to work. Before I get started with how to make these cute little lip balm books, and they are so easy to make, you guys, I wanted to show you the lip balms that I'm using. They have Oregon on them, so they're the Pacific Northwest, and they have beeswax in them. They're not specifically. Their ingredients are coconut oil, beeswax, shea butter, and cocoa butter, vitamin E oil, and honey. I got them in a package like this. I think they were $3 each. And I got them from 3 Brave Bees. Their website is 3bravebees.com. I just found them on Instagram. I was scrolling. I really liked their family story. And it's just this little family business that they have. Check them out. I don't know them. I didn't get anything free from them. They did give me one thing free. I ordered 12 lip balms and they gave me a 13th one for free. But I didn't tell them I was using them on this video. I just ordered them for gifts for my family, and I am going to share one of these with you guys. So watch the end of the video so you can see how you can get a lot of the things that I'm making today. So, yeah, here we go. Adorable. I love how these just slide right in here. Okay, they're a nice tight fit, but they're easy to get out. So this one is using Christmas Cardinals 6x6 paper pack from Paper Wishes Hot Off the Press. I'll put the link for that down below the video. And then this one is just leftover scraps that I had from last week's video, where I used 12x12 Christmas Magic, 12x12 pattern cardstock. Also, it's manufactured by Hot Off the Press, and it's available at Paper Wishes. And then let's take a look inside of this one. This is one that I think is great for any time of year. Write your little message right here. And these are just really funny. I plan on giving these out as little hostess gifts when I'm seeing a friend. I'm just sort of like, maybe we don't exchange, large gifts. I'm just like, here's something I made for you. And I'm going to keep this stash for like year round. And then here's one that has a bee themed. And this is from Be Happy 6x6 pattern cardstocks from Paper Wishes as well. And a little tie. And again, a little place to write a note. So it's sort of in place of a card, and it comes with a cute little lip balm. You guys, I'm just using like scraps to make these. And I'm going to show you how to make one using a scrap. This one is from Frosted Flowers 12x12 pattern cardstock. So yes, 6x6 fits the nice small size, but I'm using 12x12 as well, because you're cutting down such small pieces of your scraps. So let's start off with the size of cardstock that I'm using to make the base. I'm using 110-pound weight solid cardstock. There's black, craft, and white. I got these at paperwishes.com. You can find these below the video under Paper Wishes supplies. So I'm going to be using, with this, I'm going to be using the white one. And I just like the weight of them, but use whatever cardstock you have. You're going to be cutting, I'm going to give you the measurements and everything for this, you guys. You're going to be cutting 6 inches long and 3.5 inches wide. All right, and what I love about this is that you can get so many from just the one sheet. Okay, you can get multiple from one sheet. Now we're going to score. Oops, nope, no we're not. We're going to trim this down a little bit. So I've got this to 6 inches. Here we go, because this is 8.5 inches wide, so I'm going to cut it down. So my 8.5 inch wide paper is cut to 3.5 inches tall. I'm now cutting it to 6 inches. We're going to use every bit of this. This is what we're going to use to make this little thing on the inside. So we're going to set this part aside. Now we're just going to do a little scoring. If I can find my scoreboard. This time of year when I'm doing so many different kinds of videos, my craft room is just like a bomb went off in here. So, all right, so now we're going to score. We're going to score this at 2 5/8 and 3 5/8. So here's my little scoreboard. Ooh, sorry, I'm shaking the thing. All right, so 2, okay, and 5/8 of an inch. If measuring is challenging for you like it is for me, it's the one, just a notch past 2.5 inches. So we're going to score that. And then we're going to go over a little bit more, and we're going to go to 3 3/8. That's the one that is a notch below 3.5 inches. Okay, that's the little spine of our little book. So now we're just going to fold it like that. Oops. There we go. All right, so remember, you're cutting each piece to 6 inches long and 3.5 inches tall, and then you're going to score it at 2 5/8 and 3 3/8. And then we're going to take a little bit of this twine. That's a good length right there. And the other length. And we're going to glue these on now so that they can have a little time to dry. Just using my favorite paper glue. I don't think I need to use hot glue on this just because it would be kind of lumpy under the paper, but use what you have because we're putting something on top of it, and that's going to really keep it in place. And then I just like to make sure that the little strands are pretty close to each other, like that, like across. There we go, just like that. And now we're going to cut down the little patterned papers. So what I do with that is, this is 3.5 inches tall. So we just want to make sure that we're just slightly under that. Okay, so I'm going to cut this whole strip. Instead of 3.5 inches, let's just go down to 3 7/8. Maybe it's okay. Maybe I just need to cut a tiny bit off. Okay, I'm cutting it down to, gosh, it's like just, yeah, about 3 1/4. And I will write this down for you guys. Okay, so this one, out of this whole strip of this border, and borders are so great to use for this because all the work is done. We're letting the paper do the work for us. That right there is going to look really nice right there. And this measurement, that is just also 2 3/8. So let's do this. I'm going to write this down. So 2 3/8 by 3 3. No, 3.5. That's what we decided. 3 1/4. Oh, yeah, that's what we're going for. that's just going to go right there. So you need 3 of these, and then I've cut the spine to 3/8 of an inch wide by, of course, the same height as this one, 3 1/4 of an inch. So I've glued these here to the front and back, and then we're going to do this little spine piece right there. Okay, and then that'll look really cute. Just gives it that realistic book look. All right, and then this one, because this is double-sided paper, I'm going to do the one that's just a little bit ghosted back from this print. It's a little more pink instead of burgundy. And we're going to put that right here. Something pretty to look at. Then if you've got a little leftover strip that's that same 3 1/4 inches tall, it doesn't really matter how wide it is, just this is about, let's see, how wide is this? That's 3/4 of an inch wide, but it's just something, it could be thinner, it could be thicker. We're just going to put that right there, just something decorative on the opposite page. Now we need to use this piece right here. Remember how we had this piece and it was like, what are we going to do with that? That was the one that was cut off of this, and it measures, okay, if you are like this, it is 2.5 inches wide because we cut off the 6 inches. Okay, remember this was 6 inches, so from our 8.5 by 11 piece, we still have 2.5 inches here from the 8.5 inch width. And it is, of course, 3.5 inches wide. So let's write that down. What should we call this? Like lip balm holder. I'll just put holder. Okay, so that's 2.5 inches wide this way, but we're actually going to turn it. So we're going to call it 3. It's 3.5. So many measurements. Times 2.5. All right. And now we're going to score it. And we're going to score this, I wrote this down, in increments of 5/8 of an inch. Okay. In other words, you want it just a little bit bigger than your lip balm, but snug enough. So this lip balm is 1/2 inch wide. They're all pretty standard, okay? This lip balm is just about 1/2 inch wide, right there. So if you give it just a tiny bit more room, it's going to slide in and out, and it's not going to fall through, but you want it to be snug. So it took me a while to figure that out. So you're going to score the first one at 5/8 of an inch. The next one is twice that. That's 1 1/4 inch. So if you, for some reason, have some sort of, you want to use a lipstick in there or something kind of jumbo, measure the width of whatever it is you're putting in there, and then just add like 1/8 of an inch more, really, just so that you have a little bit more space, and then double it, triple it, quadruple it. So 5/8, 1/4, 1 1/4, 1 7/8, and then finally the last one is 2.5. Those are our score lines. Okay. So here we go. The first one is 5/8. Remember, that's just 1 notch above 1/2 inch. 5/8. Then you're going to go to 1 1/4. We're just doubling that 5/8. Then we're going to go to 1 7/8. That's just 1 notch below the 2 inch mark. And then 2.5. We know what 2.5 is. Right, like that one. And this one, I think it's cut a little, I think it's a little long, because that's not 5/8 of an inch. It's not 2.5. Hold on, everybody. We have an error. I may have to adjust something. Didn't have that happen before. All right, so I'm going to put this on. You get to see me do math in real time. All right, I mismeasured. It is supposed to be 3 1/4 inches long. All right, you guys. So for this part right here, it's 3 1/4. Sorry about that. math, 3 1/4. So that when you score it, they're all 5/8 of an inch apart. And now what you're going to do is fold and then just crease that fold. You should have 5 of these little 5/8 inch wide spaces, like that. Now we're going to take and we're going to put glue on one end of this. And then we're going to overlap it, and look, you got your little square. Okay, just make sure it holds tight. All right, so let's revise here. This is 2.5 inches long. So I'm going to cut this last little strip I have to 2 1/4. Here we go. I will write this down. 2 1/4. Hopefully not making a mistake this time. And 2 1/4. And you just need 2 of these little pieces. They are going to go right here. Okay? And right here. So let's write that down. I think we can do it right under the score lines. So it all stays together. So you're going to, once you glue that and overlap it, you're going to cut 2 pieces that are 3/8 inch wide by 2 1/4 long. Oops, there we go. And you're going to just glue these on just for something decorative over that little holder part. Right here. If you want them to have a little white border on them, you could cut them a little bit smaller than 3/8 of an inch, but I'm just going to fill that with color like this. All right, so now we are going to be gluing that right here and right there. So on a side that has nothing on it, and then you're going to turn it. This is going to be the bottom. Basically, it's the only 2 sides that don't have paper on them. All right, and you're going to glue this one with the glue on it here, and then like this. And just sort of hold it like this. You can use a tape runner, whatever you feel like using. Like that. And then this closes, right? And then this will fit. I'm going to make sure it doesn't fall apart here. The glue's not dry. Feel that? It's like firmly in there. That's what we're going for. Just like that. Then we're going to tie this up. And then if you have like little words or cutouts or things, you can put them on the inside or the outside like I did with mine. So let's just kind of review. This one's just plain and pretty. This has a Christmas theme to it with pine and some poinsettias right here, but I think you could take that into the winter. It looks really nice for fall. This one had these little mini cutouts on the pages for my scraps that went with this paper pack, so I added one to the outside. This one also had those little mini greetings. I added one to the inside. And then this one didn't have anything, so I mean you could write happy birthday, Merry Christmas, what have you. All right, so there you go. Sorry about the little measurement mix-up. I'm glad we corrected it. Let's move on to the next one. I think our theme today, and I wasn't planning on it being a theme, is just miniature, like mini Christmas Hostess gifts or stocking stuffers, because I love these little mini grocery bags. They're so cute. I got these on Amazon. It's 3.5 inches by 7 inches, and they came in a big pack like this, okay? And I'll list those down below the video in my Amazon store. So this would be great as a little Hostess gift for a neighbor. It's more like the packaging, okay? What you put in it, homemade cookies, in a plastic bag, placed in this, up to you, okay? I'm gonna show you the like Dollar Tree lunch sack version of what we're doing, okay? Just using up some scraps, some like little Christmas die cut things I had left over, and creating just some cute packaging that you can do quickly with scraps. Usually I would do this part and then fill it, and you need to put it in plastic if it's a baked good, because you're just gonna have like oil stains or butter stains leaking through. But then I would staple it, and then here I layered this scrap of green plaid, a little 3.5 inch wide craft paper doily, that's from Paper Wishes Supplies as well, and then this wreath, and then this little Merry Christmas, and then it's all set. That's just a little Dollar Tree version, okay? And I left it open because, as you're going to hear more about this at the end of the video, I'm giving away most of this stuff, so I want somebody to be able to use it for their gifting. So I'm going to leave that open. So for this version, I'm going to make 2 different kind of quick versions of this. So I'm not putting anything in it, so it could be pretty crushable at this point. So when I do send it, we're going to just have to like fold it flat to our winner that we choose. Keep watching, like, comment, and subscribe. So yeah, that's what we're going for. So I think what we're going to do is do it on this side. We're going to fold it on this side, so that way I can mail it flat. But you guys could do it in any way you want. All right, so we're going to fold that down. That's 1¼ inches. And then I've got this cute little 6x6 paper, and it's pine cone bind. I honestly don't remember which paper pack this is from. If I can think of it, I'll list all of these down below the video. And we're just going to put some glue kind of here and here. And I just folded it over the top. So it's going on like that. All right, and just to give you an idea, this is a 3-inch wide strip of paper. And it's about, okay, I guess I'm giving you things, it's about 6 inches long. All right, and then glued that just to the flap. Now remember, I'm making it so you guys can reuse these. So then I have this little piece, very cute, and this measures 2 5/8 by 4.5 inches, and I put a little foam tape on it. There we go. There we go, and that's just going to go centered right on there. So already this little extended flap is looking pretty cute. But then I have a little bow, and this is just some crepe ribbon, also from Paper Wishes, and it's just multi-colors like this. Boy, I'm just dropping everything everywhere. And I just tied a cute little bow, and I'm going to show you my bow tying on the next one. I'm trying to find my little glue dots. And I'm just going to, you could hot glue this if you'd like. We're just going to put a little glue dot right there. Okay. And imagine this 3-dimensional, filled with some cute little goodies, and then it's just got a little flap they can lift up like that. Very, very simple. All right, so for this next one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do it on this side because, just because. Here is some, this is some old plaid paper I have. All right, so we're going to cut this one to 3 inches as well. Okay, so you kind of got to just fold the flap down so everything stays in. And I'm generally folding everything down by about 1 inch because this is just such a cute tiny little bag. Okay, and then, I mean, we could just do it all the way like that. I like that. We're going to take that plaid paper and we're going to glue it under the flap. Oops. Like that. Use your scraps, you guys. I know you have scraps. And then we've got this really pretty paper. It's just this gorgeous little plaid, but I think I want to make that one a little bit more narrow. So this one, let's go for 2.5 inches. And I think, like, hold on to that little scrap. Let's see if we can't do something with that as well. And then I'm just going to take this. So this is 2.5 inches by roughly 6 inches. I'm going to fold that. See how it's not really folded? It's actually just bent. And then we're just going to cut a little dovetail. And I like doing it that way because they get nice and even. We're going to put that right there. I'm going to fold that over the top. At this point, if you had it full with cookies or whatever, this is a good time to staple that and secure it. Okay. You don't need a ton of glue on these. You want them to be able to open these, for sure. All right, now I've got a book page, and I think we're just going to do a little tearing. But before we do, this one I just did a horrible job tearing out of the book. All right, and then we're just going to see if we can't just tear along that fold. There we go. All right, and then this is going to get layered right on top of this, so I'm going to do that thing again where I just round it. I don't want to really fold it or crease it in any way, and I want to go that way. And we're going to layer that right there, and then I want to cut it to be about the same as this side. Like that. Just kind of about layering the papers. And then I've got all of these, you guys. They're just, let me tell you where they're from. I don't even know if it's still available, but it's from Graphic 45. They make the most adorable Christmas cutting dies or die cuts. And this is Deck the Halls. And I love that it just has a variety. And then I really, really like this one right there. It's so cute. The blue. And he is, oh, so cute. Maybe we'll use this one. And then, like, he can just sort of stick up a little bit taller, because when this is, let's see what it looks like when it's kind of filled out. Okay, so pretend it's filled with goodies, or even like a jar of jam that you've made. I like to make my neighbor's jam like this. And then this little guy can go right on the top. And I like how his hat is sticking up, but I am going to use just a little bit of foam tape. I do like the dimension that foam tape gives. And I'm going to put the foam tape down first because it's important where it's placed. Okay, how are we doing? And then, so cute. Oh, these are adorable. Just something like those across the bottom. Just a little border, and I'm just going to trim around one of the candy canes like that to make it smaller. And there you go. Pair that with your family Christmas card, fill it with treats, and I'm thinking pretty adorable. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a great time making these little lip balm books. I did add a little bow to this one because, you know, I just had to. So I hope you enjoyed this really simple craft, fun to share with friends, takes minimal supplies, and then all the little gift bag ideas as well. So how do we do our giveaway over at Lene Creates? We do it every week, and this week is definitely a Christmas theme. So I'm going to be giving away all 3 of these bags, and then I'll let the winner choose which one of the lip balms they would like, lip balm books they would like as well, with a lip balm in them, of course. But the other ones I have to give away because they are my gifts to my friends. So you'll be getting 4 items in today's giveaway. And how that works is we ask that you like, comment, and subscribe to Lene Creates. And then you have to watch next week's video. Okay, you may have noticed in this week's video a pop-up that said congratulations YouTube username blank, and it showed a picture of a project that was from last week. So if they claim their prize, we will package it up and send it to them in some happy mail. Here's the thing, you guys, sometimes these are kind of heavy projects to mail, and my sister-in-law and editor Carrie and I pay for these ourselves, so for the shipping. So if you guys are so inclined and you would like to make a donation to Lene Creates, you could do the buy me a cup of coffee or the super thanks down below the video. That would be really helpful, and all that money goes towards our shipping expenses so that the winner doesn't pay anything at all. They just get the happy mail. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, it'd be great if you'd follow me on my other social media accounts. They're listed down below the video as well, because I like to do new and sort of little reels and things like that of things that I'm just doing myself, my crafts that I like to do, and also sneak peeks of what's happening. So that would be great, you guys. Thanks for joining me today. Really getting a start to the Christmas season, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.